later on with the President. And we continue with our rolling coverage. Joining us in our booth this morning at the Radio Islam Center is Muhammad Nazir Paulsen, a member of the National Assembly of South Africa as well as part of the EFF structures. Mr. Nazir, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Radio Islam International.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Maulana, to you and the listeners, and shukran for inviting us.
Are you happy that Floyd Shivambu left EFF?
Well, it's irrelevant to me, but I'm not going to be discussing who left, who stayed. The important ones are the ones who stayed. They matter to me.
And what about Ndlozi?
Like I said, I'm not here to discuss individuals. I'm here to speak about the economic freedom fighters and how we view the conditions in this country and the plans that we would want to take this country forward. And those that are within the EFF are very important when it comes to the implementation or the agitation of those plans.
What's the strategy tonight?
Well, the strategy tonight is we've come to listen to the President and hear what he has to tackle the serious issues facing this country. And if his solutions or his proposed solutions are inadequate, we'd like to point them out. So we're here to listen attentively and to make sure that we contribute to the discourse going forward.
Zir, talking about that, if given the opportunity to partner with the GNU, would you take up that?
Well, as the President of the EFF said, we are quite willing. The President doesn't have to be blackmailed or held hostage by parties like the DA and the Freedom Front Plus when it comes to the implementation of critical bills that could change the conditions of our people, like the Bala Bill, for example. So we would want the President to have a viable option, or the ANC to have a viable option in terms of a genuine coalition partner that's got the interests of the people of this country at heart, but not along with the likes of the DA and the Freedom Front Plus.
What's happening with the Progressive Caucus? Last year around this time, we were with you in the chambers of Good Hope. This year I see nothing much happening. What's the status? What's going on?
Well, the Progressive Caucus exists to deal with issues of common interest and to support parties on issues of common interest. That's where I think there's always been that agreement within Parliament that many parties who agree on common issues would actually support each other. So I think the Progressive Caucus still exists in that sense, and that we will agree on common issues.
Let's talk about the leader of the party, Mr. Julius Malema. How do you view him? Do you see him as an autocratic leader?
Like I said, I'm not here to discuss individuals, but I do want to touch on the leadership style of the Commander-in-Chief, which I think is a very fair leadership style. You do your work, things are fine. You don't do your work, you'll address it within the parameters allowed to him in the organization. And you must know that even the President subjects himself to the constitution of the EFF, and if there are issues that needs to be taken up via the processes within the organization, you will use those processes, but it's processes that is fair to everyone.
I know you said you're not talking about personalities, but I've got to ask you, man, how do you see Jacob Zuma? Do you see him as an opportunistic person, and the current state of the EFF, and how he has managed to woo so many people onto his side?
Well, I don't know what the fascination is with an 82-year-old man that had 9 years to make a difference and did nothing. So you can't give someone another turn. He's had 9 years and he did nothing. So I think it's really foolish to want to give someone that's proven that he doesn't have the interest of the majority of the people of this country at heart.
What is the EFF doing to regain the trust of the constituency and to get people onto your side again, given the fact that you had?
Well, I think if we look at the organizational redesign, where we are actually disbanding regional structures and replacing it with sub-regional structures.
Yeah, talk to us about that.
So it's going to be taking the organization closer to its membership at grassroots level. Remember, the most important unit of the organization is the branch. All of us have to come from a branch. But I can tell you now, with regions being so far removed from branches, that even our membership cards don't reach the branches. So you'd wait 2-3 years for a membership card, and once you've gotten it, it's expired now. Now, obviously, we've also changed the membership card system. We'll be issuing electronic membership cards, which is fantastic. You know, like you've got an electronic banking card on your cell phone. You'll also have an electronic membership card, which is great. So we're at the cutting edge of technology, but most importantly, the idea of sub-regional command teams is to take us closer to the grassroots, the mass voter out there, and to be able to deal with their issues. This is also the year of the picket lines. So we'd be wanting to make sure that we highlight the issues facing our communities, and we can only do that if we are closer to them.
How has the relationship been with the media? I mean, in December, your president took a swipe at the media. He actually included it in his report also. How has the relationship been?
We'd want the media to be very fair. You know, mainstream media has never been kind to the EFF.
Many argue that you use the media to actually get your message across, and they were the one that gave you the publicity all along, and now they have become the target.
No, I think that's very unfair. You know, media's got a job to report everything, good and bad. But media's got the tendency to only report things that are bad, and to sometimes distort it. Who owns the media in this country? It's not the poor masses, because then we'd hear a very different story. But it is white monopoly capital that owns the media, who stands to lose from the EFF's radical or economic freedom fighter policies. You know, economic freedom means we'd be empowering the masses of this country. And ultimately, white monopoly capital won't be able to take the lion's share of this economy any longer, so they stand to lose. So why would they want to report positively on the EFF?
And what do you make of Donald Trump's comment as far as land expropriation is concerned?
Well, Elon Musk is working on a plan to go to Mars. Donald Trump and those people that are calling for his help must accompany them to Mars.
Nazir, thank you very much for your time this morning on Radio Islam International.
Shukran so much.
Jazakumullah. All the best.